Welcome. And today I'd like to share with you a project I did back in 2006 with a great poet named Coleman Barks and a great cellist named David Darling. And sadly, recently the world lost David, who was a great musical soul and a bit of a hero of mine. I used to listen to his work with Paul Winter back when I was a wildlife biologist, and I would have my little portable cassette player and headphones and out in grizzly country up in northern Montana listening to some of those early records. And my dear friend Mickey Houlihan, who happened to be the engineer for those amazing recordings by the Paul Winter Consort, outdoors on all these adventures with artists like Glenn Velez and Eugene Friesen and David Darling and a host of others. He and I first met before I was a musician at all, and we were in the same birthing class, and we both named our sons Sean. So we've been dear friends ever since and worked on many, many projects. And he was the engineer and director for this project in 2006. Now, Mickey is a bit of a musical wizard, and he has a knack for bringing together people he suspects have a good chemistry for different types of projects. So he's the one who originally brought me and David into a project together. And then after that, I had the honor of playing with him several times in a duet or trio setting and on several recordings. But this particular night in 2006, I believe it was March 2006, in Boulder, Colorado, where we brought in Coleman Barks to do the spiritual poetry of Rumi. And that is a special topic for me as well. I love that poetry. And we got together before the show and literally didn't have any rehearsal. We just kind of said, I'll say some poetry, you guys play what you feel underneath it, and we'll go back and forth. And that was pretty much it. We held it at the Unity Church in Boulder, Colorado. And that happens to be the first venue I ever produced my teacher, Ustad Zakir Hussain, in 1995 with Sultan Khan, and in 1996, the first Masters of Percussion event with Ustad Al-Araka, Zakir, Sultan Khan, and a host of others. So that's a special place for me. So what I'd like to do is show you a couple of short clips from that evening in honor of our dear friend David.
Who makes these changes? I shoot an arrow right, it lands left. I ride after a deer and find myself chased by a hog. Happens all the time. I plot to get what I want and end up in prison. I dig pits to trap others and fall in. I should be suspicious of what I want. That's so subversive, isn't it? In a consumerist society. I dig pits to trap others and fall in. Plot to get what I want, end up in prison. Who makes these changes? I ride after a deer and find myself chased by a hog. I should be suspicious of what I want. The sharp new moon blade again We walk a garden with the lilies clever talking around us. Green satin, no tailor sews. Trees are putting on their hats. A drumming begins, and we play along on the drums of our stomachs. The lake that was ice and iron now is ridged in the wind like David's chainmail. A voice says to the herbs, rise up. The mystic crane returns. The humiliated ones dress and show their heads in the windows again. There is a public concert on the tomb of January. The willow shakes its head. Those we thought were lost are back. How the sun is with plants is evidence enough. That's enough theology, isn't it? How the sun is with plants is evidence enough. Before I tell a Rumi story, here is a kind of poem that makes you realize the longing we have for stories. It's the end of Robert Penn Warren's wonderful sequence called Audubon. It's called Tell Me a Story. Long ago in Kentucky, I, a boy, stood by a dirt road in first dark and heard the great geese hoot northward. I could not see them, there being no moon and the stars sparse. I heard them. I did not know what was happening in my heart. It was the time before the elderberry bloomed, therefore they were going north. The sound was passing northward. Tell me a story. In this century and moment of mania, tell me a story. Make it a story of great distances and starlight. The name of the story will be Time, but you must not mention its name. Tell me a story of deep delight. In this century and moment of mania, tell me a story. Make it a story of great distances and starlight. The name of the story will be Time, but you must not mention its name. Tell me a story of deep delight. On Resurrection Day, your body testifies against you. Just think about that for a while. Your hand says, I stole money. Your lips, I said meanness. Your feet, I went where I shouldn't. Your genitals, me too. They will make your praying sound hypocritical. Let your body's doings speak openly now. Without your saying a word, as the student's walking behind the teacher says, this one knows more clearly than I the way. Let the body's doings speak openly now. Without your saying a word, as the student's walking behind the teacher says, this one knows more clearly than I the way. See what wisdom he is assigning to the body there. Beautiful. When I see your face, the stones start spinning. You appear, all studying wonders. I lose my place. Water turns pearly. Fire dies down and does not consume. In your presence, I do not want what I thought I wanted. Those three little hanging lamps, I have no idea. In your presence, I do not want what I thought I wanted. Those three little hanging lamps. Has something to do with education. Inside your face, the ancient manuscripts seem like rusty mirrors. You breathe, new shapes appear. The music of a desire, the music of a desire, as widespread as spring, begins to move like a great wagon. Gorgeous image, isn't it? The music of a desire, as widespread as spring, begins to move like a great wagon. Drive slowly. Some of us walking alongside are lame. The music of a desire, as widespread as spring, begins to move like a great wagon. Drive slowly. Some of us walking alongside are lame. So soda Learn the alchemy true human beings know. The moment you accept what troubles you've been given, the door will open. Welcome difficulty as a familiar comrade. Joke with torment brought by the friend. Sorrows are the rags of old clothes and jackets that serve to cover, then are taken off. That undressing and the naked body underneath is the sweetness that comes after grief. The hurt you embrace becomes joy. Call it to your arms where it can change. A silkworm eating leaves makes a cocoon. Each of us weaves a chamber of leaves and sticks. Silkworms begin to truly exist as they disappear inside that room. Without legs, we fly. When I stop speaking, this poem will close and open its silent wings. David, darling, is so generous. you. Ty Burhoe, Mickey Houlihan Les Kahn. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that. Very special memories for me. And perhaps we'll get to release more clips from that event in the future. And actually, on that note, my friend Mickey Houlihan has a YouTube channel where he has released some of these clips and probably more coming up, as well as some stuff on David. So you can check that out. But I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.